Okay, and we're back here live for our lunch hour segment, PALS TV. So next we're going to be heading over to Heath, Ohio, and joining our friends with Gaming with Gary. And we have a ton of gamers out there, and they've been loving this segment. First week, Gary went into some of the basics and the systems and what you need to know if you were going to choose which game system was best for you. And then last week got into the virtual world a little bit and showed us what it's like to do the VR stuff. Can't wait to see what he has in store for us this week. We're starting to get a little bit of a cult following with our Gaming with Gary. So thank you to Gary, Angie, Bev, and Connie, and everyone down in Heath helping us out right now and doing some wonderful segments with us. So live from Heath, we have Gaming with Gary.
Hello, people. I'm Gary. I'm in Heath, and we're going to be doing. I'm actually doing some segments, keeping it real with video games because I think some video games are getting way too much hype. So if you have questions or concerns, make sure you put them in the chat. I'll try to answer them. If you guys watch YouTube or whatever the case may be, you probably see a lot of people doing video game segments or whatever the case may be. And I find them kind of humorous because they play games and they say, "Oh, this game is really good." But if I was being sponsored by EA or somebody else, I'd probably want to say their games are good so I could continue to get paid. So we will continue to try to be as realistic about games here. And actually on the screen we have some of the games that I've been playing. And then Jonah had requested an Assassin's Creed game, and I just started picking up playing Odyssey, which it's all right. It's pretty good. World War Z is a zombie game. It's pretty fun. Also, we'll touch on that a little bit also. And then Red Dead Redemption 2, we'll probably do that next week because it's a huge game. So, we will. I've been playing this Assassin's Creed Odyssey game for I don't know, probably like 40 or 50 hours now, and we'll go over some of the basics. Now I'm hiding in this bush, and this guy's going to walk up on me. But what I'll do is I'll kind of go over some of the things that I like and what I don't like. The map on this is humongous. So, and hey, Christian. Sorry, I just saw you said hey. So this is the map, and the gray areas where I have not been, and then the green and blue areas where I have been. So as you can see, I'm pretty fresh into this game. This is a little start area here, and if you look, it'll say where the circle is. It says 9 of 9 or whatever. That's the level that is recommended. So like over here, it's 11 to 13, and then 12 to 14. And I just found this out recently because I went down here and tried to do some missions, and it says 42 to 46, and a dude sneezed on me and I died. So it was pretty bad. So yeah, it was the Corona sneeze. Also, we wanted to thank Connie Barker. She brought in some pregame snacks. She brought in her special brownies, which are delicious. So super good. All right, so as you can see, you have your map, you have your quests, you have your inventory. I'm not really big on the inventory because basically you can upgrade every single weapon that you have to whatever level. So you go to a blacksmith, and if you look where the little plus mark, it says, actually that's not it, but you can upgrade all of your weapons or whatever the case may be to match the level that you're in. So if you have a sword or a bow or whatever you like, you can keep it forever. It's kind of the standard thing where blue is purple. Sorry. Blue is the rares, purple is the epics, and the orange is the legendaries. So, and then the gray or black are just the common weapons or whatnot. All right, so then you have your ability tree, which is kind of fun. it's not like your typical ability tree where you have to go from the bottom up. You can once you get to a certain level, you can choose from any of the classes, except the poison thing here might be the exception because it looks like there's a little arrow there. But and then whatever this is here, archery master. So anyhow, so this game, I should mention this game is immature. There's blood, violence, guts, bad language, all that good stuff. I think there's some nudity and statues and stuff too. So, like, you don't want to walk up on Zeus's statue there because you get a full front on. It's just awkward. So, at the bottom is my little health bar. I did not do very well stealthily because I thought that I could stealth kill it. I could stealth kill that dude. So I'm in all kinds of trouble because I was trying to be stealthy and oh yeah, I'm gonna die. So I don't know what I did. So anyhow, so you can parry. Or die just like that. So just gonna chop off my head here in a second. But in order to parry, you got to time it. So when they're getting ready to attack you, whatever the case may be, you got to just time your parries or whatever the case may be. And it's a very typical game where you have your light attack and your heavy attack, and then your blocks and your dodges, and then you have a bow. But Assassin's Creed's always been about being stealthy, which surprised me that I can't kill that dude with one hit because my weapon's the same level and stuff like that. So, also, what's kind of cool about this when you it kind of pulls from several different games, like what's that one game? Oh man, Far Cry. It kind of pulls from Far Cry, where you synchronize your area or whatever the case may be, and then basically you stock your area or whatever. So like you'll hit your up on your digital pad and you become your eagle, and then you use your eagle view to kind of figure out what's around you or where all the items are. So like that item right there where it says 90, it's an ancient tablet, and then that is something too. I can't remember what it is, but and then you see all the enemies around you. So a lot of games have done this. Even like Ghost Recon and Call of Duty and stuff have done a very similar thing because people are now have ideas to what to do in video games, I think. So
Christian wants to know what's better, Origins or Odyssey, and have you played Black Flag?
I have played Black Flag, and I'm a traditionalist. I really liked Origins because like the little spike thing where you just spike some dude in the back of the head. This is all very cutting throats and stuff like that. And actually, even the assassination screens, they don't even really look much like assassinations. I guess you can't even really see it. Like before, you would throw you'd jump on some dude and spike them through their eye or whatever the case would be, and you would be able to see that their eye would be missing or whatever the case. So actually now I can see, like looking at this guy, if I strike him, like the white is what's going to be left of his health, which I really don't understand why that is. So let's try to switch weapons real quick. I just let's see. And so and actually I should have brought this up. So if you look at it, it tells you how much DPS, damage per second. So the sword I was using is 219, and this one is only 178. So I can't imagine it's going to do anything better. So, and I mean, the only reason why we are even doing this, and I should give that background also. So basically, it's Spartans versus the, oh God, man. My brain is not fully functional. I'm thinking about these brownies. So, let's see here. Oh, the Athenians is what it is. So you have, basically it's the Spartans versus Athenians. And it's actually been pretty after you get out of the starting area, it actually starts to get more fun. Like that dude right there is a mercenary who's trying to kill me because like I took out a bunch of Athenians or whatever. But it does get interesting because whatever choices you make, you end up having people coming after you from the different factions or whatever. So the goal is try to be as stealthy as possible, which is really difficult when you can't kill anybody with one hit. And I guess that's one of the things I do dislike about this, because I don't think any of the other games were like this. Because, I mean, unfortunately, if you throw a spike in someone's head, regardless, it usually is going to kill them. So I don't understand why they changed that factor or whatever the case may be. So and that's one of the things I did like about the original Assassin's Creed. It was free world. Let's see here. I'm gonna probably die doing this, but oh, so we did kill that guy. So, but like I don't like games where you go through different areas or whatever, and enemies are stronger. I mean, I guess it'd be different if they were trolls or ogres or something like that. But I mean, these are just humans, so but we'll kind of get past this, and then fighting one person is a lot easier than fighting 3. So it would be different if like maybe the level varied on the skill level that they were in, but not how much health or if you could damage them or not. So this dude's going to kick my butt. Try to. Stabbed him in the butt. I don't think that's ever killed anybody. So anyhow, so basically you have a lot of secondary missions or whatever the case may be. So the reason why you need these ancient tablets is you need them to upgrade your ship, which is I'll show you in a second. And I'm not really sure I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but it just basically gives you a history of the game, or like what you're doing or what has happened in the past. So that is kind of cool that it does give you a history or whatever. So if you look, like these little eagle things here, that's where you synchronize. And that, like I said, Far Cry kind of has adopted this, or I mean, this actually came from Far Cry, I think. So if you come up there, if you go up to this area, you can synchronize the area, which means you can fast travel there, which is helpful because, again, this map is huge. Let's see real quick. I didn't see. This is Sparta. Yeah, no, that is cool. And actually, like, you do get a Sparta game. But I do like this. I'll be honest, like I didn't like it when I started playing it because there's just so much to do in a little area. And now there's just kind of the same thing where there's a lot to do, but the area is very spread out. So, and then there's also gathering, again, kind of a Far Cry thing. Like if you see trees or whatever the case would be, I'll see if I can find one, trees and ore and gems that you kind of find throughout the world that you just pick up. And then all I'm doing is following the map at the very top where it says I'm 240 meters away from, here's one. So right here it says loot, and for that I got some iron metal, and which you need iron metal. So normally when you pull out your weapons, there's something chasing you, which there's a wolf chasing me. So we don't really want to fight him because, not that we can't, but it's just, again, this is so big and it's really pointless. You do get experience points for this, which is how you get your different skilled trees or whatever. But so like this year is a tree, an olive wood is what they call it, and then there's another one up here that I saw. But you need those to craft different weapons, and then also for building up your ship, which I'll show in a second also. The ship battles are really good. Jenna was telling me he had played the pirate one, which I have not played. And honestly, like I kind of get burnt out on franchises like Call of Duty and Madden, like, and I am very against games that pay to play type thing. Like Assassin's Creed's one of them, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of them. And I think it's just almost all games right now you have to pay to upgrade. But so we're trying to find this. We're trying to find this where we're supposed to go to perch here. But one of the reasons why I wanted to, or one of the things I want to start doing this is just, I know it's going to sound silly, but just trying to keep video games real and not overhype them. Like I said, I don't get paid to tell you guys which video games to buy or whatever, but I can at least give you my opinion of whether or not they're good. Like I said, I think the Nintendo Switch is amazing, and there's a lot of good games on it. So like if you buy the Nintendo Switch, most of the games are quality games that I've played, like the Marios and the Luigi's Mansions. Like they're solid games. But like the PlayStation 4, like I don't really know how many Assassin's Creeds there are, but I know that there's a lot of them, and the premise is the same, and the same with Call of Duty. And it just, I don't like people making money off of not making a solid game. Like, you know, there's been a lot of games that I've played that are Call of Duty or Madden that aren't very good. And realistically, like, I mean, $60 a game, that's like a day's worth of work. Like, so do you really want to go to work for 8 hours to buy a game that, you know, is not very good? So, and I'll give you some examples for me. So, one of the games I had looked forward to for years was Diablo 3 from Blizzard, and I did the midnight release and stuff, and I remember waiting in line at GameStop to pick up the video game, and came home and downloaded it to the computer, and the servers weren't even up. So like I waited, you know, like an hour or two to get my copy or whatever the case would be to a game that wasn't even available. So it's just one of those, yeah, games have evolved. I mean, and Diablo 3 now is better than it was when it was released, but that's my issue. It's like I just spent, I think I bought the collector's edition or whatever the case may be. I think it was like $100 or something like that. But the thing is that about buying a game like that is if you spend $100 on a game, like I want the game to be immaculate. AC3 is the first Assassin's Creed. Well, so I'll give you some more for examples. So like when I think of good games, like I think of like Silent Hill, the first Silent Hill on the PlayStation, and I know it's not fair because it's kind of the first genre of like a horror game or whatever, but I mean it is amazing. Like it is one still. I mean to this day, like it's one of those games that you don't want to play alone in the dark. It's so terrifying. And then Silent Hill 2 did the same thing where it was just a really good game. But the issue that you get into is like when someone has a good game, they don't, I don't know, like they don't make it better or whatever, or maybe they've made it improved so well that they just can't. Maybe there's no more that they can do for it or whatever the case may be. So, which is a shame because like Silent Hill, and I mean you can even make an argument for Resident Evil. Like the first couple Resident Evils were amazing, and you know and Resident Evil 7 has improved. Like it was better than I thought it was going to be. But overall, like you're at the risk of you know the video game makers and the people that you are you know, relying on good information for, you know. So one of the things I do like about this game, so you do have to find a crew for your ship. So you can either eliminate your people, or you can knock them out, which because I'm a lower level, I don't think I'm going to be able to. But we'll see.
Jay Good's on
Really?
here. Mm-hmm.
So I tried to knock him out. It did not work in my favor. So he just did that Spartan out or whatever. Probably gonna die here. Both of them? Oh, looks like I'm kind of back, but sorry. Anyhow, so some of the other games that, you know, I know I talked about Metroid and Super Metroid, and then like even like Castlevania, you know, Castlevania 3 on the PlayStation. Like, I think what happened is video game developers got lazy and they started relying on graphics more so than creativity. And that's not true. I mean, obviously, like you know, there's been good games since then. But I mean, for the most part, you are at the mercy of the people who are making the video games and the people who are you know, advertising them or whatever. I remember years and years ago, there's a game called Vampire that got all of this advertisement, and then it finally came out, and like all the magazines and stuff had to take back everything that they had said about it because it was just a really bad game, and which is embarrassing because, you know, they had played the betas and stuff like that, and you know, basically again, they're getting paid to say something to boost the hype on a video game. So, and I mean, anymore, I don't get excited about video games or video games coming out. Red Dead Redemption 2 might be the exception to that because, I mean, basically Rockstar has not put out a bad game. So, and basically it's just a Grand Theft Auto on a horse. So, you know, how can you go wrong with that? So, and they didn't. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a solid game. Oh, I think that's a dude too. Oh, God. Let's see here. So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to beat this guy, I don't think. Is there any games that you guys play that you guys really enjoy? Or, I mean, I can talk about some of my favorite games. Like when I first started this, they asked me what my favorite system was, and honestly, the Atari Jaguar was. And there's only a few games that came out for it, which is a shame because it was a really good system. But they really thought outside of the box with it, kind of like Nintendo Switch did, actually, where they focused on the quality of games versus, you know, a bunch of games. And that's what I really enjoy about the Nintendo Switch now, is they're focusing on the quality of the game versus the versus the quantity of games, or whatever the case may be. Oh yeah, we're gonna run. So anyhow, I'm actually gonna put on World War Z. Let me see what time it is real quick, because I think it's a pretty solid game. Again, it's a zombie game. I think there's foul or bad language in it and stuff, and there's definitely blood and gore and stuff like that. So if that bothers you, don't watch it. So, but this is this is one of the best games that I've played in a while, and I think it's like $20 right now. And I don't know if you guys ever played Left 4 Dead, but it's free. It's like that. You basically fight a lot of zombies, and the graphics on it hold true. Ooh, gosh, man, I broke something. But there's another really good zombie game that came out was Dead Island. And then Dead Island put out a sequel, Dead Island 2, which was pretty good. And then they just didn't really go anywhere with it. And actually, the second Dead Island was nowhere near as good as the first. But you run into that where, people just get lazy when they're making video games. So this is you can play online or with co-op or whatever the case may be. I play this with my oldest son just because it's fun, because we kill thousands and thousands of zombies, and it's a good way to blow off steam or whatever. And it's not actually, this one is a pay to play because there's an upgrade. But again, if you're paying $20 for a game, then it's worth it to pay an extra $3 for an addition. And then the other thing, I can't remember if I said this, is about not buying into the hype of a game. So Borderlands 3 is a really good game. And I think we waited 6 months before I bought it. And I ended up getting the Platinum Edition or whatever, where you get all the expansions and stuff. And I bought it for, I think it was $29.99. So $30 to me is worth buying a game when you get all the expansions and stuff like that. Yeah, it does. I think so. I can see it though. Yeah, it's not a big deal though. So we'll do. Let's see what's a good stage. Tokyo is pretty good. So this is pretty fun. I'll try to get to the climax of the stage, because basically what happens is you get to the end and you fight like this giant swarm, and you want to be stealthy and stuff like that on this game. There's different weapons or whatever. And then I should have showed that also, but I'll show it after this if I have time. I think you have 6 or 7 different classes. You basically have like a demolitionist, and then a gun specialist, a medic, and a supply guy who can fix like the mortar rounds and stuff like that. So, but most games now have like skill trees, and once this thing loads, I'll show it to you. Oh. So a couple of things that I do recommend when you're playing video games is making sure that you have a comfortable chair, and that you're stretching out quite a bit, or whenever you feel comfortable. And one of the things that I do when I play video games is during every loading screen, and you guys don't have to do this, but I do 20 push-ups between each loading screen.
Let's see it. We'll video it.
Yeah, you want to see it? All right. Knock out 20 real quick. Oh, no. And I'll do 20 if you do 20.
I ain't no. Yeah, but yoga.
Go yoga. Oh, hey. No spoilers. Man, so it starts out pretty slow, and then you have a team of 4 people. And then this guy here is a demolition guy, so his explosives work a little better. And this should be noticed also. This is the easiest level possible, because I am not, like, I think I'm only level 7 or whatever. So as you get better or whatever, you want to go at a higher level. So you just kill all these guys real quick. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, World War Z, but it's a really good movie. And it's a really good book, too, if you haven't read the book. But, book doesn't really go with the movie. I think everybody says that, but the book is really good and the movie's really good. So what's really fun about this game is, again, like the amount of zombies that you end up fighting at a time. And I'll show you here in a second. Like these little 1s and 2s aren't that bad, but here in a second we'll have to fight like a few thousand, which is I missed every single stroke with my machete there. It's a little embarrassing. So. And there's hidden weapons throughout the stage. Oops. Then you get little breaching charges. So what you want to do is you level up your weapons too, which is nice. So like right now I'm using this shotgun, which I'll upgrade it or get a different one here in a second. But you can make it where you level it up and you get like a shotgun or whatever the case may be, or a silencer on your shotgun, or it holds more ammo, or it's more powerful, or it penetrates through zombies or something like that. So it's pretty, at least that part's fun of it. But you can't level up until you finish a stage, which is, I mean, I guess it's nice to an extent. And then like these are not guns that we want, so. The one thing I don't like about this game though is you can't choose what gun you start out with. Like, so even though you're upgrading different weapons, you're at the mercy of the game to give you the weapon that you need, which is very seldom does that happen. So the cool thing about the demolition guy is he does claymores, which for whatever reason work a lot better than the grenades or whatever. Oh, also the game is not very realistic with the weapons and stuff. Just FYI, you can't be that close to a claymore when it goes off. Let's see here. So you refill, and the main difference between easy and normal, or from the easy level that we're playing right now to the normal level is on easy. There's those little ammo things and what do you call it? Health packs everywhere. There is not on as the level gets harder. And then there's more specialty zombies also as you play through the game or whatever. So right now, this mission's pretty easy. You just escort this bus to the end, and see here. And honestly, like the violence on this, I mean, I guess killing zombies is violent, but I almost forgot. You're supposed to be looking like they have like right here is a stationary. Or this is actually an automatic turret, which is nice to have when you're fighting a lot of zombies. Like, I mean, that's probably like 20 or 30 right there in front of you. Oh, and the other thing is you want to, not so much on easy, but you definitely have to aim for headshots when you're playing on like the harder levels, because again, you have to conserve your ammo. And health, like, so you got to be like, friendly fire is more effective. Like right now I can just shoot this dude in the back and it won't kill him, but on the other ones it will. So, and it, even though the AI is not that great on this, you know, it's better to have 4 people with no good AI, but versus nobody. So we just escorted this thing here, and we'll just do this part here, and then move on to another game, because I think I'm running low on time. But so what you want to do is you want to set up like a defensive thing, and the auto turret, which we got, is amazing for it because it does run out of ammo, but you can reload it, which is nice. Because there's going to be a lot of bad guys coming, and then there's also just regular stationary guns that do run out of ammo, which baffles me, but whatever. So barbed wire is one of the things that you can get for your defenses, and then another thing you get is see there. Another thing that you get is an electric fence or whatever. So we'll pick up these barbed wires. So the other thing that happens, so when you go to a stage, or like when you go to this part, so basically it'll say you have 30 seconds to get ready, or whatever the case may be, which is definitely not the case. So I don't know where they come up with the time frame, but there'll be a countdown somewhere. I don't even know where it is. Let's see here. On the left-hand side, it says you have 26 seconds or whatever to get ready for the swarm. That is a gross overstatement of time, because you're in about a second. Now, the other thing too is because I've done this stage before, like I just got another auto turret. Normally I would save it, but I'm not going to because I'm running low on time. I'll talk about some of the other things in this game. But basically 2 auto turrets will eliminate what you need to here. And so in this game here, like there's not a lot of, I don't want to say thought process or whatever, but I mean, you just have, I don't know how many it is. A lot of zombies coming at you that you can just kill. So I guess it's kind of like those siege games or whatever. So, and the whole goal here is to prevent these guys from getting into the bus, which is fairly easy. And then if you see, like, you still have a few hundred or whatever. And then you can reload your auto. You can reload your auto turrets, but for whatever reason, you can't reload the stationary guns or mortars or stuff like that. So, but I mean, again, this game is for what you're getting, like, $20, $30 or whatever. I mean, this game is awesome. And again, you play online, you can play with people, which is fun. Like I said, I play with my son quite often on this. And, like I said, it's very straightforward. You just go around and shoot people. I don't see, I'm afraid to touch the computer, but anyhow, so I'm going to talk about some of the games, and I know I kind of did. So actually, like, Diablo 3 is one of the games I've been playing now because they have greatly improved it from when it was released. It's a good game for $20 or $30. It's an adventure game, and you basically just upgrade your gear, and it's pretty straightforward also. It's PS, I think it's on all systems actually, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Some of the other games, let's see here, Torchlight is more like Diablo 2, which is amazing. And I never get sick of playing Diablo or Torchlight because it just basically it's a constant upgrade to your gear. As far as Nintendo Switch games, actually, somebody asked me last when I did the Switch segment if I got Animal Crossing. I did not, but since then I have gotten Animal Crossing. Personally, I don't like it, but my wife loves it. So, and it's not that I don't like it, but there's no killing or anything. You're just farming. It feels like Farmville, where you got to wait certain periods of time to, like, for your house to be fixed or grow and stuff like that. And then you actually got to, like, you got to pay back your your house. So if you buy a house, you have to pay for it. And I'm paying for my house now, and I don't want to pay for 2 houses. Just sad reality. Oh, this guy blows up. That's kind of cool. I forgot. So anyhow, but it is a fun game. I can see the appeal to it. And what's cool is I do have a profile in it, and then my youngest boy Asher, my oldest boy Zane, and then Hazel all have profiles on it, and then you kind of work together on your island to improve it. Which like Hazel lives like in this mansion on it, and it's fun. Like I said, I can definitely see the appeal in it. And I actually play The Sims on occasion because I do enjoy it, even though there's not killing or anything like that or any type of violence. But I can definitely see the appeal playing a game like that. Oh yeah, dude, just didn't see that guy. But anyhow, so if you are into first-person shooters, and actually I think most games are third-person. There's a game on the Xbox, and I think it's the original Xbox called Ghost Recon, and they've basically did the same thing they did to Call of Duty, where they've ran the name into the ground or whatever. But it's a really solid game if you pick it up. And actually, I think, Christian, you said you had a PS3. There's a couple Ghost Recon games that are on the PS3 that are amazing also. Splinter Cell's a really good game, like the original. And again, one of those games that they kind of ran into the ground since then. But it's a good, solid game. The Far Cry series is really good. The way I consider games is, how much time am I going to put into it, and how much money am I spending on it? So Far Cry is like a forever game. You can do it forever, and Far Cry Primal is really fun also, because you get to fight woolly mammoths and dinosaurs and stuff like that. One of the best games that I played on the Switch is the Zelda game, because it's one of those games that's a forever game. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die here because like I got no good equipment. Normally you would save your equipment, but and actually I only got 2 minutes, so I'm gonna get back out here. So Red Dead Redemption 2.
1 minute.
All right. I'm not even going to get into it. So, I appreciate you guys being with me. But if you guys have questions about video games or systems, let me know, because, I don't have all the games and I don't have all the answers. I know a lot of it's opinionated. But I can tell you, like, if I pick up a game, whether or not I enjoy it, and, if I recommend it. So, and again, I don't get paid to tell you if I like it or I don't like it. I'll give you my honest opinion on it. Where'd it go?
Segment again, Gary. Thank you. So next week you're going to get into a little bit
of
different things like that. You're going to get a little deeper into games. Going in and out with Gary.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Yes.
Great job, as always. Thank you, Angie, Bev.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm sure they appreciate you, Connie. So, well done, always. And we're going to take another break here, and then come back to you live from Art Outside the Lines in downtown Columbus. So, see everyone shortly.